This is my ultimate adventure motorcycle packing list that has been refined over the last couple of years. So let's talk about what's changed and where I'm at with it. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. This is my ultimate adventure motorcycle packing list that has been refined over the last, especially 18 months with all of the travel that I've been doing. I think I've spent between 55 nights in the tent over the last year and a half, and I've put tens of thousands of miles on, and I've covered the country from southern Texas to South Dakota all the way over to the West Coast and up and down California. So I have been all over the place in a lot of different environments, and I've really had to change how I ride and what I carry with me for camping and riding comfort. Now, I've broken this down into 3 categories, which is the essentials for motorcycle travel, adventure travel, and then what I carry for the unexpected events so that I'm prepared. And then there's also a balance between lightweight and comfort. So I'm gonna talk to you what I do for comfort, because I like to be comfortable when I'm doing this much travel, and I'm not going for the lightest weight kit. A couple of things to note is my packing list it's a living document. I'm constantly making small modifications here and there over what I'm gonna take, or things that I like, or maybe finding things that I thought were gonna work aren't working. So it's always ongoing. And I have done this before, like 3, 4, 5 years ago with what I was using at that time, but this has changed a lot since then. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be comprehensive with every single thing that I carry. I'm going to hit the major things that I think are important, that I make sure that I carry every time, both for the essentials and then for the unexpected events, and then comfort. So if you want a full list, you'll just have to leave that. Let me know in the comments, and I will try to put that together in the description if that's something you want. I carry a lot of just small odds and ends things that probably don't fit most of you, but it is something I carry. So that's why I'm not covering those things. We're gonna stick to the essentials. Let's get to it. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time going over riding gear. Of course, that is an essential for everything that you do. It really is up to you for personal preference. I use this mesh jacket by Knox. I've done a video on this. I'll leave that in the description up there, as well as this Columbia jacket that goes over the top. Really, all I want to say about the riding gear, the kit that you have, is you should be wearing the best gear that you can afford. So whatever your budget is for gear, you really should extend yourself as much as you can to get the best, especially boots, helmet, and then jackets. It's kind of a toss-up, because with all of the adventure jackets, the textiles out there, you can spend a fortune on them. Do you need them? I don't know, that's up to you. One other thing I want to mention real quick is I don't carry dedicated rain gear. I stopped doing that about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And the reason for that is my jacket that I wear over everything is water resistant or waterproof itself. And then with the pants that I have, I use Starbright on them to give them basically a waterproof coating. In enough rain, I get wet. It's just water. And it might be a little bit cold, but again, just water. I don't like carrying the extra waterproof gear. I don't like pulling over to put on waterproof gear. And especially for pants that have waterproof liners, I especially hate those because you have to pull over, take your pants off, put on the liner, pull your pants up. Worst case, if I don't already have this jacket on, it's on the back of my bag, and grab it and throw it on. So I don't have dedicated rain gear, and just want to make a note of that, because I know some of you out there carry dedicated rain gear. I just don't. Now let's get to the kit that I actually carry every time that I ride, whether it be a day ride or a week-long or multiple week ride. I love Crash Bar bags. These Nelson Rig bags have been fantastic. And the great thing about Crash Bar bags is every single ride, everything is right there. So on this side, I carry a comprehensive toolkit I've been asked a lot what my toolkit is for this bike. I'm gonna do a separate video on that because to add it in here would be much too long, but it is coming. This is quite heavy. I'm guessing my toolkit is probably about 10 pounds. I have a lot of stuff in here. I probably need to refine it a little, but what's great is the weight is forward and it's low. So good place to have it. Always take it with me. Now, because I have tubeless tires, I carry a puncture repair kit so that in the event I get a puncture, I can fix it. And I know some of you are gonna make comments that tubeless wheels and tires should not be ran off-road. Stick with me for a second and I'll explain to you why I disagree. I get comments all the time that tubeless wheels and tires don't belong off-road. And I think part of the reason that riders are saying that is because if you bend your wheel or damage your wheel and it's not holding air, well then you don't have a way of fixing it. Well, that's where I disagree with you, because I always carry tubes with me. I carry an 18-inch tube and a 21-inch tube. So if I have a very catastrophic failure on my wheel, I bash it and it's not holding air, I have a tube to put in. And for those of you that are running tubes, you're carrying tubes anyway, so it really doesn't change anything. But what it does for me is it makes it easier. If I just get a puncture, I can pull the nail or whatever it is, put a plug in. And then if that's not holding, or if I have a big gash, then I can go to the tubes. So I would still prefer to have tubeless and just carry tubes. So I always have a spare set of tubes on this side, and then always carry a wrench to be able to get that back wheel off if you need to. And then I carry a set of Motion Pro bead breakers, and these work on tubeless wheels just as well as they do tubed wheels. I've done it many times on cross-spoke wheels. You just have to be patient. But so I carry these with me here. And then of course the tool for getting the front axle out. And then I also have a patch kit for my tubes. So this is part of essentials that go with me every time I go. Now, something else, because there is the potential for a puncture or a flat, I carry a really small hand pump in here, as well as an electric compressor, and I'll show you where the compressor goes. When I'm traveling, I keep my compressor in this bag to try to keep some of the weight forward. But if I don't have all my luggage on, I will keep it in this tail bag. Right now I have my drone in the tail bag because I'm traveling, filming, doing that type of stuff. But yeah, I always keep this with me. Now, a quick note is before you go anywhere, make sure it's charged. I have forgotten to charge this and gotten somewhere and just wanted to check the air pressure on my tires and found that it was dead. So that's always something you got to remember, is make sure your compressor is charged and ready to go. But I carry this plus a small hand pump. The last thing that I carry with me that I consider to be essential, and I know it is overkill, I can appreciate that, and that is a jump pack. I have this anti-gravity micro start, and it's pretty small. It also is a backup USB battery bank if I need it. So it has multiple purposes, and if I don't have all my luggage on, just like the air compressor, I just throw this in the back bag just to have it. The last thing I want is to be off riding somewhere and have the battery die. These bigger bikes are harder to bump start than small bikes, so I just think it's worth having with me at all times. I carry one of these in all my vehicles just in case. You know, you just never know when a battery's gonna crap out on you and you need a jump start. So I can do it myself. All right, now we're gonna talk about packing for the unexpected. And I already touched on riding gear, but I wanna cover that one more time, because the riding gear that I wear and everything that's put together and all the layers, I can wear in temperatures from low 40s all the way up to over 100 degrees. So I always carry all of that with me, no matter if I'm riding in the summer or the winter. It's always the same. And the reason for that is if you're riding in the mountains of Colorado, Wyoming, any of those places, even California, at those high elevations in the summer, it can get quite cold.
August 15th, Colorado mountains. My seat is frozen.
I basically pack for every potential weather situation. Extreme cold, extreme heat, it's all the same. I always carry the same things every trip. Like this Columbia jacket that I mentioned before. So let me talk about some of the other things that I also carry on every single trip for all temperature ranges. I use a 2-person tent. I always have done that, and that's because I can fit all my gear inside of here. Last summer, I spent a lot of time waiting out thunderstorms in my tent. So I could throw it up really quick with all of my gear on, jump in, take it off, and then be able to kind of stretch out and change. So I think having a 2-person tent, a 3-season, even a 4-season tent is ideal. At least that's what I like to do. I don't like putting my gear on the bike. I want it in the tent with me. I was in a lot of rain. If it's really cold in the morning, I can just put all my riding gear before I ever get out of the tent. So I think that is incredibly important. The other thing that I do, and this is filthy from last night's wind, is I carry 2 down comforters. These pack down smaller than a typical sleeping bag. And that way I have multiple layers, so I can sleep in temperatures in the 30s, up to 80s and 90s if I have to, just by layering it. So all last summer I carried both of these, and I ended up needing it. It was freezing temperatures in August in Colorado, and then there wasn't supposed to be really cold temperatures in South Dakota, but it ended up freezing there as well.
There's 2 types of weather I camp in: rain and freezing. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. I'm either wet or I'm frozen. Ugh.
So I've just gotten in the habit of pack for the coldest weather, and it's easier to adjust for the hottest. So I carry 2 down comforters all the time. All right, I've already talked about having a toolkit and a jump starter pack and compressor and puncture repair. So as far as the unexpected goes, that kind of gets encapsulated in that. But one other thing that I am doing this year is I am carrying a Zoleo satellite communicator. It is nice to be able to let friends and family know that I am okay when I'm traveling. And then in case things really, really go bad, I have a little bit of a backup. Now, some of these places that we go on our motorcycles, and like BDRs, they're very remote. So if you do have a problem, it might take a while before you get any help. But if it is an emergency, I think having one of these is important, especially if you're like me and you do a lot of riding by yourself, you're not with anybody else. I think that makes it even more important to carry one of these. Now, the comfort items that I carry with me. I know that I could reduce the weight of my overall kit by probably 10 or 15 pounds if I didn't carry comfort items. But when I am spending, what was it, 50 some days in the last year and a half at campsites or traveling on the bike, being in different places, it's kind of nice to have some comfort. And one of those is the seat that I'm sitting in. It's nothing special. It's just one of these little folding seats. It's a cheap one. I got off Amazon for 30 bucks, probably 5 years ago. It's still holding up, does great. It's not the lightest, but it sits up high enough that to me it's worth it, especially when I'm doing dispersed camping like I am here in this spot on the Mogollon Rim. I don't want to sit on the ground. And I know that some more hardcore riders out there, and some of you may be watching this, you're okay with that. I'm not. I like to be able to sit in a chair. It's a comfort item. Now, another comfort item is I carry a heated vest. So when the temperatures do get in the 30s, sometimes 40s, I can put my heated vest on. Now, this thing's not light. It has a battery pack in it. And, you know, it's extra gear that I'm carrying with me. And I carry this every day of the year because you just don't know what the temperatures are going to be at any point in time, depending on where you're at. So that is a huge comfort item. Now, this is my little wood burning stove. I love this. Maybe it doesn't fit in as comfort, but it is some entertainment to cook off of this. Usually just boil water, but I like the process of grabbing sticks and putting it together. Unfortunately, with where I am in Arizona, they're in stage 1 fire restrictions, so absolutely no open flames. So I'm still carrying this. I shouldn't have brought it because it's just extra weight. I can't use it. I have to go back to using my jet boil here, but it is something I carry this stove with me all the time. Last year, I used this probably 90% of the time because I enjoy it. So it's more, it's functional. Yes, I don't have to carry fuel with me because forests are full of it, but it's also just kind of fun. Now, another comfort item that you may not think about is a Hydro Flask. I have this Hydro Flask here, and the last gas station of the day, I fill this up. I like Fresca. I like Fresca a lot. 0 calorie, tastes great, and I like having a little bit of carbonation at the end of the night. So this weighs a lot. The Hydro Flask is not light, and then you fill it with Fresca or Sprite Zero or something like that. It's heavy. So I know if I wasn't doing this, I could cut some weight. It does provide some hydration, so there is some value there, but the Hydro Flask is to keep it cold. So yeah, I don't know if this is, you know, it's probably not the greatest thing, but since I'm on an iron mule that can carry more, I opt for that. Some of the other things that I carry is I carry earbuds. I've talked about this before. I'll download podcasts on my phone. I am one of those people that requires nearly constant stimulation. I can't just sit and relax. I don't do well at reading, and there's only so much of nature I can listen to. So at some point, I will eventually put earbuds in and start listening to music if I am lucky enough to have cell service, or downloaded podcasts. This is also a comfort item. And if you're not familiar with what this prevents me from having to get out of the tent at night. I absolutely hate getting out of my tent at night, having to put shoes on, having to try to stumble around in the dark to take care of nature's needs in the middle of the night. So I always have this silicone bottle. It has been priceless. I've used it for 4 or 5 years now. And I think it is a comfort item because I don't have to get out of the tent, but I consider this also to be an essential item, so I don't have to get out of the tent. Now, I don't use Gatorade bottles just because they're bigger, where this rolls down and is pretty small. So I think this is a better solution than carrying a Gatorade bottle with you all the time. And I think this is kind of the last of my comfort items, and that is 3 small air pillows. I sleep so much better in the tent if I have a pillow. So I have this Sea to Summit pillow that I use to put under my head, and then I've got one pillow that goes between my legs, and then another pillow that I hug at night. So it adds extra weight, adds a little bit extra space, but to me, the comfort that I get out of this, the ability to sleep better, is worth it. And I've talked about using these before. So if you're interested in wanting to see more of the videos that I've done and the reasons why I do this and the better quality of sleep, let me know. And maybe if I remember, I'll put a link up here to that video. So yeah, comfort items. I think it's worth it, especially if you're gonna be spending a lot of days on the bike. If you're just out for 1 or 2 nights, maybe you don't need those comfort items, but when it turns into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more days in a row, it makes the riding and being at camp just more comfortable overall. Quick bonus item, move to the shade, it's kind of hot in the sun here, and that is these folding bowls. Now I know Sea to Summit has some folding ones, but the sizes weren't really what I was looking for. So Hideaway makes these little folding bowls. It's nothing unique, they've been out before, but the size of this is really perfect. I'm back to eating top ramen, and it fits perfectly in here with a can of chicken on top of it, and is excellent. And then it has this little insulated cover so you don't burn yourself when you have a hot liquid in there. Now, the problem that I found with Sea to Summit and some of the cheaper brands is they were much smaller than this. They didn't have the same capacity. And the other thing that I found that I really like is this is my coffee cup that expands out, and it also has a little insulator that goes over it so you don't burn yourself with the hot liquid inside. So I just wanted to add that because that's something new that I've been using. It reduces the size of my kit a little bit because I was carrying a full-size cup and it just felt big and cumbersome. And then I found the bowl, and this just makes putting together food really easy, especially if you're doing a dehydrated meal or something. You can put it in here and then dump the water on it and then seal it up and eat it out of that instead of eating out of a bag. So just wanted to add that. That is my ultimate adventure motorcycle camping list with the essentials that I take with me for every ride, what I carry for the unexpected, and then also the comfort items that personally I can't live without. So if you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Let me know if you have any essential items that are different from what I had on my list. If you have any items that you carry for the unexpected that are different from what I carry for the unexpected. And then also, do you have any comfort items that you can't live without that are different from what I talked about? I'd be interested to see, because my list is always changing, and I'm looking for recommendations and suggestions from you out there to see if there's something I can do better. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. Remember, you can always make more money, but you cannot make more time. So get out and do that ride you've been thinking about. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there.